What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, let's go ahead and go over all of the games that released within the last week, as always. So on April 30th, we had Sea of Thieves finally releasing on PS5, Front Mission 2 Remake, which was out before, but now it's just making its way to new platforms, Braid Anniversary Edition, and then moving up to May 2nd, we had Endless Ocean Luminous, Indica, and MotoGP 24, and then moving up to May 3rd, we have Another World, and this is another game that's just going to new platforms, but was technically available before, and finally, Cyber Citizen Shockman 3, The Princess from Another World. Now I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you guys gotten to pick up or play any of these games? Next up, we got the May PS Plus Essential Games for you guys, those being EA Sports FC 24, Ghost Runner 2, Tunic, and Destiny 2 Lightfall. So we got 3 games and 1 expansion. Overall, a really solid lineup with some great variety. Next up, we have more unfortunate news regarding the whole PS Plus subscription service. So another game is going to be leaving May 21st. That being Horizon Zero Dawn. Now this one is really shocking because this is a first-party game and this doesn't happen very often. And if you're wondering why before I said another game is leaving the service, it's because about a week or two ago we had talked about how about 24 to 25-ish games were leaving the service, about half a dozen of those being like Final Fantasy games. So now this is just another game on that pile of games that is leaving the service on May 21st. Again, it's insane because it's literally 25 games leaving the service and you know there's not going to be 25 games joining to fill those slots. So, yeah, I don't know. This is really unfortunate, especially because it's a first-party game. I don't understand why it's leaving the service, especially because the game is a bit older at this point. You figure Sony is only making money off of this game, either A, when it's on sale, or when people are picking it up on, like, Amazon or something. But even there, you know, this game it's way below what MSRP was for it at launch. So, I don't understand the play here. You feel like it would only benefit them to keep it on the service, but alas, here we are. Next up, we got the first wave of May Xbox Game Pass games for you guys. Those being Have a Nice Death, Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. Both of those games are available now, by the way. Then moving up to May 7th, we have Kona 2 Broom. Moving up to May 9th, we have Little Kitty Big City, and this is a day 1 release for Game Pass. And then moving up to May 14th, we have Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, an absolutely phenomenal game, a genuine masterpiece. And then at the bottom, they just kind of highlight, like, hey, in case you missed it, Star Wars Jedi Survivor is now available via EA Play, and you already have EA Play if you have Game Pass Ultimate. I'm glad Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is there. It was interesting for a while. Rise of Tomb Raider was there, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was there, but not the original, but thankfully it's there now. Next up, 2 games are free on Epic Games, those being Cat Quest 2 and Orcs Must Die 3. These are both some pretty fun and quirky games. I can highly recommend them, and hey, there's no better price than free. Next up, the Star Wars Hunters release date was announced. Now, this game was, you know, kind of like announced or shown off a while ago, but finally we have the release date because, I mean, it's been a while since it was first shown off. But anyway, this coming from Nintendo on X. Quote, choose your hunter and fight for glory in the arena. Battle as heroes of the rebellion, Imperial stormtroopers, and everything in between in Star Wars Hunters. Pre-download this free-to-play game and Battle for Galactic Glory on Nintendo Switch June 4th. So, there you have it, June 4th. Just a little over a month out, and I'll definitely be diving into this one. You guys know me. I absolutely love Star Wars. In fact, at the time of this video going up, tomorrow is my favorite holiday of the year, that being May 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Next up, the Plucky Squire release window was announced. This coming from Plucky Squire on X. Quote, we will be launching the Plucky Squire this year. We haven't announced a release date yet, but we're working hard on the game for a PC and console release in 2024. Stay tuned. Now, you may be wondering why I'm highlighting this if we don't have an official date, and it's because, well, I mean, we got an update, right? Like, it'll actually be going out in 2024, so that's close enough for me. Plus, you know, this is like a smaller indie title, so I always like to put a bit of a spotlight on this stuff just so as many people as possible can get their eyes on it. Even if it's not an official release date, it's still an update regarding the release, so I figured I'd highlight it here because this, I mean, you're seeing the trailer on the screen. This looks like a pretty fun and different kind of game, so I'm really looking forward to this one. Next up, Batman Arkham Shadow was announced. Now, at first when I saw this pop up on my timeline, I was like, oh man, this is insane, a new Batman Arkham game. Like, I didn't even know what was going on. I was genuinely shaking with tears of joy coming from my eyes because I was like, you know, like, this never leaked out before, nobody had talked about it, we had no idea that this was going to be a thing, and I was so excited until I clicked on the trailer and, well, I'll just read the description. Gotham City is in danger, and you're the only one who can save it. Batman Arkham Shadow coming late 2024, only on Meta Quest 3. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It is a VR-only title, and if you know me, and I'm sure like 80% of you out there can attest to this, I don't play games in VR. 1, my stomach is really weak, and 2, is just, like, VR, man, come on, man. Like, I get it, you know, we need more VR games, but come on, how are you gonna do us like this? This is such a bait and switch. If my gut ever becomes any stronger one day, maybe I'll try it out, but, like, ugh, Come on, man. Next up, the Xbox Game Showcase and Redacted Direct was announced. This coming from Xbox.com. Quote, mark your calendars. The Xbox Game Showcase will be live streamed on June 9, 2024 at 10 a.m. PT, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. BST. Like our double feature last year with Starfield Direct, immediately following the showcase, we'll be airing a special deep dive into the next installment of a beloved franchise. We can't say much, so for now we'll call it the Xbox Game Showcase followed by Redacted Direct. This will also be our first showcase featuring games from our portfolio of studios across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox Game Studios, in addition to titles from our third-party partners. End quote. Now, it is worth noting that this showcase was technically announced a couple months ago during their whole business podcast event that they had to kind of just, you know, it was one of those things where they were planning to do it a little bit later, but they had to kind of move it up just because there were so many leaks and rumors and things kind of surrounding Microsoft at the time, so they just had to address everything that was going on. So now they're kind of just like bringing that back into the spotlight, kind of re-announcing it, and also announcing the Direct to follow it. Now, there's been a lot of speculation online, and as the title suggests, yes, people do believe that this is the next Call of Duty game that is going to be announced or shown off for the first time here. Normally, I don't cover leaks or rumors or this, that, or the other on this show just because it's just like, that's not real news to me, right? Like, when things leak out or there's rumors, like, that's not real news to me. It's just like, okay, yeah, stuff is leaking out, but it's so, like, take it with a grain of salt, and I don't feel like wasting people's time. I'd rather cover things that have been officially confirmed. That being said, this is the one time where I'm going to cover speculative type stuff, because it's like, man, if Call of Duty, the next Call of Duty, right, the game that is literally topping the sales charts every single year, no matter what the entry is, unless a Rockstar game is out. The only time Call of Duty has ever been beaten was Call of Duty Ghosts in 2013 when because that's when GTA 5 was also releasing, and then Black Ops 4 also got beat out by Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018. That being said, this is a huge franchise, and I, myself personally, if you guys have watched my main channel before, you already know I love Call of Duty. I'm a shill for that series. I've been playing it for basically as long as it's been out. I'm talking my first Call of Duty game was Finest Hour on the PS2. So to say that not only am I excited for this, that would be an understatement in itself, but also that this would be huge for Microsoft to, I mean, because not only do they own Call of Duty, which again is like the best-selling game every year, but like if they announce it at their showcase, could you imagine? Like, this is just the first thing, for the first step of many bigger things to come. I don't know, man. I feel like between Call of Duty and the microtransactions in that game with like Warzone and stuff, I just feel like Microsoft's earnings from Call of Duty alone are about to be flying off the charts. Again, this is all speculation type stuff, but they expect it to be the next Black Ops game that's going to be announced there. I always take those things with a grain of salt. I never get my, you know, my expectations too high. I never get too hyped up for anything. I just wait to see what actually happens before, you know, telling myself that one thing is going to happen. I always just keep my expectations at literally 0, and then whatever happens, happens. So yeah, very excited for that. And obviously once that showcase happens, we'll recap and talk about literally everything that's announced and shown off in June. Next up, the Fallout 4 Next Gen update is available now. So we'll just go ahead and go over some of the main patch notes of like new features and changes and such. So there's a native PS5 and Xbox Series applications, includes performance and quality mode options. Performance mode has a 60 FPS target, 4K resolution, standard settings, relying on dynamic resolution scaling. And then quality mode is 30 FPS, 4K resolution. Ultra settings should not require dynamic resolution scaling. And then they also have a couple asterisks saying when connected to a 120Hz display, quality mode will target 40 FPS, and when connected to a 1440p display, the title will run at 1440p resolution at 60 FPS with ultra settings regardless of rendering mode. They also note that it is finally being released on the Epic Store, because I guess Fallout 4 wasn't available there before. I mean, me personally, I'd rather shop on Steam, but hey, to each their own. Widescreen and ultra widescreen support, Steam Deck verified, 9 free Creation Club items, those being Enclave Remnants, which are new, Enclave Weapon Skins, Enclave Armor Skins, Tesla Cannon, Hellfire Power Armor, XO2 Power Armor, Heavy Incinerator, Halloween Workshop, which is new, and a Makeshift Weapon Pack, which is also new. And then they also added an installed content menu, and then they go on to list a ton, and I do mean a ton, of bug fixes. Not gonna go over all those, but yeah, there's some new stuff in the game, got all those different new modes, so if it's been a while, I would recommend diving back into Fallout 4. Whether it's your first time or whether you're revisiting it, it's an amazing game. I've always loved Fallout 4, and now hopefully with this next gen update here, this will just get it on more people's radars to try it out. I know it's gonna be a while until the next Fallout game, but hey, if you haven't played any of them before, all the Fallout games are standalone, so you can't really go wrong starting with any of them. So I mean, hey, why not dive into Fallout 4? There's new updates here, you know, they added some new stuff to the game. It's the most recent one, and then from there, if you've never played the other ones before, then you can go back and play like New Vegas and 3 and even the original entries. Next up, a Starfield update beta is available now. This coming from Bethesda.com. Starfield.net, quote, Starfield's latest update is here and is bringing several new features with it. They go on to list all the new stuff that's coming to the game, but what I really want to prioritize and talk about here is something that a lot of people have been asking for ever since the game was, just announced. Not even since it came out, just since it was announced. That being display/performance options. Now, you guys know my take on this. I don't care about resolutions, I don't care about frame rates, I just care about fun game being fun, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I do think it's cool from time to time where it's like, hey, if there's a way for things to be optimized in a certain way, whether that be to prioritize frame rate or graphics, and like, hey, it's cool to have certain toggles there. That being said, they did just that for the Series X specifically, but it doesn't seem like it's coming to the Series S, so they say in the patch notes, added display settings for Xbox Series X to prioritize visuals or performance for Series X only. Like, it's in parentheses there saying Series X, so there's nothing there for the Series S, and then, like, there's nothing after the article after that. It just says, that's just the tip of the iceberg, read on for a list of fixes and improvements and stuff like that, and then they also say at the bottom, please note this update is currently in Steam beta before going live for all players. We don't anticipate much to change from this update, but we'll let you know when it's available, and any adjustments we make to the notes below. Thank you. So, yeah, I at the time of this video going up, I don't think the update is actually out. However, the update beta is out, which means that we should be seeing the actual update itself roll out soon, which is why I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, specifically on the console side of things, because, again, the graphic settings will be there for Series X, and the fact that it's not going to be there for Series S doesn't exactly surprise me. It is a weaker system after all, but yeah, I'm sure Digital Foundry will go ahead and do all those different tests and stuff, seeing, like, how each mode performs. So, if you're like me and you literally couldn't care less about resolutions or frame rates, this update won't affect you at all. But if you're one of those people that, just needs their toggles and stuff, then I mean, hey, as long as everything goes according to plan, you should have those toggles in the game soon. Next up, BlizzCon 2024 was canceled. This coming from BlizzCon.com. Quote, after careful consideration over the last year, we at Blizzard have made the decision not to hold BlizzCon in 2024. This decision was not made lightly, as BlizzCon remains a very special event for all of us, and we know many of you look forward to it. While we're approaching this year differently, and as we have explored different event formats in the past, rest assured that we are just as excited as ever to bring BlizzCon back in future years, end quote. So, BlizzCon is obviously all about, like, Blizzard games, think like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, etc. So, yeah, in-person events have kind of been declining in popularity and just simply existence in the last couple years. Still, ripped E3, really sad that that one's just kind of dead and gone for the foreseeable future still. Out of all the events to be canceled, E3 is the one that definitely stung the most, but yeah, just another one in a long list of events that have unfortunately been canceled in recent times. I'm not gonna lie, I never paid the most attention to BlizzCon, if ever any, but I know for fans of that type of thing, when it comes to those specific kinds of events, it's really gotta sting for them. Here's hoping we can see a bit of a revival or resurgence in popularity for these in-person events in the coming years. Next up, a Returnal animated adaptation and book was announced. This coming from Housemarque on X, quote, another year, another cycle. The third time around, extra loot is exposed with Dark Horse flair. Then they go on to list that there is a Returnal Fallen Asteria graphic novel, a Returnal art book, and the Fallen Asteria animated adaptation. Dark Horse Comics also posted up saying, quote, celebrate Housemarque and PlayStation's award-winning game with Returnal Fallen Asteria, a graphic novel that expands and reimagines the original story. Plus, complete your collection with new hardcover art book releasing this October. So there we have it. In the original post by Housemarque, they didn't put out like a release date or release window or anything, but Dark Horse Comics says releasing this October. So I assume the book and the art book will be out at that time. I don't know about the adaptation, if that'll be out in October, or if that's going to be like at a later time or earlier before that. But regardless, all of those things are in the pipeline, and I'm really excited. I love Returnal, one of the first PS5 exclusives from this generation, and as time has gone on, I feel like I've been hearing less and less people talk about it, which is unfortunate. Me personally, I've been a huge fan of Housemarque for many years at this point. I mean, between like Dead Nation, Matterfall, Alienation, Stardust, Super Stardust, like there's so many games that they've made over the years that I absolutely love and always go back to this day, like Resogun. And Returnal, I'd say, was probably their biggest game to date, and yeah, they definitely didn't disappoint. And I would definitely love to see, them put their spin on these bigger, I get closer to like AAA type titles where, they're like bigger budget, super expansive, because, I mean, obviously, I love their games that are a bit smaller in scale, like Stardust, Resogun, all the ones that I just listed off before, but it is really cool seeing their level of creativity with a bigger budget, being able to, like, spread their wings, per se, in a space like this. But, hey, I also do hope that they keep making their smaller titles, too. Like, if I could get a Resogun 2 one day, I'd be all about that. But still, this is all pretty exciting, so I'll definitely be checking this stuff out when it all releases. And finally, IGN and Xbox held their indie showcase, and as always, every time that we recap shows here, I recap literally everything that happened, or everything that was announced at the very least. Every game that had a presence, or was shown off, or announced for the first time, and yeah, we're gonna be doing this. So they showed off like dozens of games, right? This was a 3-hour presentation, except only it was only about an hour of it was actually like trailers. The rest was just like podcasts and gameplay and stuff, which is pretty cool. But anyway, I have it kind of broken up here. So we have some games that were shown off, but they were already announced before, so we were just kind of getting like updates on those games. Those being Pal World with the Arena update. It's gonna be 4 new pals plus a flamethrower coming this summer. 33 Immortals. There's gonna be a closed beta starting May 24th. Vampire Survivors Operation Guns DLC releasing May 9th. Commandos Origins gonna be a closed beta in the summer, also coming to Xbox Game Pass. Dungeons of Hinterberg, there was a new trailer revealed and it's coming to Game Pass July 18th. Farah the Sunder Tribes is coming to Xbox. Humanity is coming to Xbox Game Pass on May 30th. Lost Records Bloom and Rage, we got a new trailer for that. Tales of Iron 2, Whiskers of Winter, we got a new trailer for that game. Times and Galaxy coming to Xbox in June. And Hangry, we got a new trailer for that game. And now we have all of the new game announcements, things that weren't shown off before, they were here for the first time. So the Rewinder, this was actually shadow dropped onto Game Pass, so it's available now. Firework coming to PC Game Pass. Depersonalization coming to PC Game Pass. Kerplurth coming to PC Game Pass. Volcano Princess coming to Xbox and PC Game Pass. And anytime that I say, just coming to, that just means we don't have an official date at this time. Volcano Princess, pretty sure I just said that. Jackbox Naughty Pack releasing later in 2024. Keylocker releasing later this summer. Promise Mascot Agency, new game from Paradise Killer Devs releasing in 2025. Stampede Racing Royale releasing an Xbox game preview this summer. Sulfur, an Xbox port was announced for that. All You Need Is Help coming to Xbox Game Pass in fall 2024. A Store, Blade of the Monolith, releasing May 30th on Xbox, and Centum coming to Xbox Game Pass in summer 2024. And then after that, 17 games announced during the III Initiative Showcase earlier this year were announced to also be coming to Xbox, and here are all of the games that are coming to the Xbox platform by III, those being 33 Immortals, Cat Quest 3, Death Must Die, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Kill Knight, Let's School, Never Alone 2, Shadows of Doubt, Wizard of Legend 2, and then they went on to just kind of like list off the games by III that are already available on Xbox, those being Broken Roads, released on April 10th, Brotato, Abyssal Terrors DLC, Dyson Sphere Program, Rise of the Dark Fog Stage 2 update for PC Game Pass only, My Time at Sandrock, Pal World Arena update, already talked about that, Raven's Watch Fall of Avion update, Risk of Rain 2 Devotion update, and the Vampire Survivors Operation Guns DLC, which is coming soon, and again, we already talked about that. But yeah, it was a big showcase, good, and there was a lot of trailers and stuff like that, a lot of games announced, but hey, a promise is a promise. I always tell you guys, like, I'll keep you guys up to date with everything, even if it's a longer showcase like this. I'll go through, I'll watch it, I'll write down everything important, and by important, I mean, literally everything that is shown, so never a detail slips by me. But hey, there you go, I just saved you 3 hours, so, I don't know, you're welcome, maybe? Hopefully. But anyways, that's all the stories I got for you guys. So now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about? Whether it's, oh gosh, what did we even talk about? The Xbox Showcase coming up, the Xbox Indie Showcase. I have to talk about the Xbox Indie Showcase at the end. My brain just turned into mush. So whatever it is, whatever thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well then, now you know when to be here. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.